Hi guys, I wanted to show you today how I go about getting a perfect grid. Because of the way that I sketch, if you've ever seen me sketch, I create stencils as I go, and the stencils have to line up on the grid perfectly. So if the grid isn't perfect, then it all kind of falls apart. But even if you don't sketch, even if you do just the traditional, way that we do mandalas as we go, painting as we go, you may have run into a situation where your grid's not perfect and it can be kind of frustrating. So this method takes a little bit longer, but it uses geometry, so it is foolproof. It will give you an absolutely perfect grid. So if you're ever in a situation where you definitely need one that's super accurate, this is how you can do it. However, the caveat is you can't do 16 segment grids this way. The only grids you can do are 6, 12, 24, 48, and so on, multiples of 12 or 6. And it uses the flower of life concept as its basis, but I won't get into all that. So what you do, you have your board, you have your center marked. Open your compass up and this board is kind of messed up with the base coat. It's just a practice board. Open your compass up till it's almost to the edge of the board. So just about to the edge, and make a circle. Okay? Then, leaving your compass open that amount, so don't mess with the opening. Plant your compass needle anywhere on this circle that you just made, perfectly on the circle, and go to the left and make a little mark that crosses that circle, and go to the right and make a little mark that crosses that circle. Now move your compass to the left to that mark that you just made, exactly where it crosses that circle, and plant your compass needle. And again, go to the left and make a little arc, and go to the right and make a little arc. And do that again, go to the left where that mark intersects the circle that you just made perfectly. Go to the left, go to the right. And you'll start to see that you'll start to close some X's. Now we've made an X over here. And the X should be perfectly on that, it should cross perfectly on that circle if everything is as it's supposed to be. Okay, move your compass over again to where that little line is you just made, intersecting the circle. Go to the left, go to the right, close your X. To the left again. Now you're closing an X on the left, closing an X on the right, and one more. This time you're going to go right where the X intersects that circle, go to the left, and go to the right. So now you've got 6 X's, and it's just a matter of connecting them. Let me just sharpen this pencil. Here's my longer ruler. This board must be a little more than 12 inches. All right, so you want to line up where your X's cross in the center and your center dot. Line all 3 of those up and draw your line. Do that on all 3 pairs. And make sure that you're really lining those up perfectly. Okay, now we have 6 segments. So what we need to do now is bisect each of these segments perfectly. So go back to your compass And what you're going to do is plant your compass needle where one of your vertical lines crosses that circle that you made. Close your compass so that it's about halfway. We're estimating about halfway, but when we make our arcs, it will give us perfect center. But for this part, you just want to kind of estimate where your compass is going to cross in the center and make a pretty big arc that goes like this. Do that to the left and do that to the right. Now move over to the next guideline, intersecting the circle, and go to the right and see where that crosses that arc. That's your dead center between those two segments. So now you know that you don't need to make arcs this big. You know about where it's going to cross. So to the right, cross that X, and to the left, make an X now about, or arc about where it's going to be. Go to the next guideline, and again cross your X and make an arc. Next guideline, cross your X, whoops, and make an arc. So yes, it takes more time, but for me, it's super worth it. Okay, so now we've got our X's, and we can just simply connect them again. Do the center dot. And this will give you 12. And if 12 is good for you, then you can stop there. On a smaller board, that might be enough for you. The reason that the stencil doesn't really give accurate like this does, because the stencil line, the pencil is a little wider than the pencil, so you can't get your pencil perfect each time. And then as you're moving out on the board, any drift that's in the line is going to magnify as you move out. So as you move out, if there's a difference in the distances in your segments, it's going to be worse as you go out. So especially on bigger boards, it's really hard to get a perfect grid using a stencil or even a protractor, because on a protractor you're just making one little tiny mark in the middle of the board usually. And again, there's just natural drift that occurs when we line our ruler up with that one little tiny mark. This gives you marks that are, first of all, further out on the board, and you have more than one. So I have just found that it's almost impossible to get an accurate grid any other way but this. So now we go to, again, where a guideline intersects a circle. Close that compass to about halfway. Make an arc to the left, make an arc to the right. Move over a guideline. Cross that X and make an arc to the left. And over, X. Whoops, I just accidentally closed my compass. And to the left. And so on and so forth, and you're bisecting all of these segments in half with those X's, and then connect your X's and you'll have a perfect 24-point grid. So I don't know if you found that helpful or not, but that's how I do mine. And let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye guys.